And this is 2.6a, is dealing with ratios, rates, and conversions, which are all very similar, very closely related, okay? So write these things down with me as we go so that you make sure you know where you're at. A ratio. Does anyone know what a ratio is? Yeah.
Well, I'd like to know what it is. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
Give me an example.
Sure, give me an example.
Right there. There are 4 red and then 3 blue. So then you do 3, and then 2 dots, and then 4.
Whoa! But backwards, because you have to put them in the order you said it or you were given, right? So a ratio is a comparison. It compares two numbers by division.
But that's right, though. Like the dots.
The dots, yes, often show up. Sorry, that's messy. So here's a couple examples for you, okay? If our numbers are A and B, we could say A to B. Now, we don't say this A divided by B. We're comparing the two numbers, so it's A to B, but it is division going on. But I will say it A to B, okay? The other way you could write that is like this. This is the one Olivia was just talking about. A, the colon, and then B. Or you could even just write it with the word to in between. A to B.
Which one's your favorite?
Okay. I will use this one the most just because it's what you're used to. And it's just a little easier to work with if you're solving for things. Okay. So like Olivia was just saying, it says, what is the ratio of red flowers to blue flowers? Now, the order is important. So I want red flowers and then blue flowers. So your red flowers were how many? 4. Your blue flowers were 3. So you can say 4 to 3 or you can say 4 to 3. I don't care which one you do if you're just giving me a ratio. Okay, 4 to 3. Yeah?
But what if I said the blue ones first?
Right. So if I said what's the ratio of blue to red, what's that?
3 and then 4.
That's 3 to 4. So that's going to be 3 over 4 or 3 colon 4.
And then like
Okay.
on a test or quiz, if I was to put like them, and I like switch it up,
I
would
take
that be
half.
1 or half?
It'll be half credit. Yeah. All right. So this next thought here. Okay. If the ratio of boys to girls in a class was 2 to 1, which is not the case in this class, we should check what the ratio in this class is. Not right now. Don't count right now. Stick with me. We'll do it in a minute. Then the number of boys is what to the number of girls? If the ratio is 2 to 1, what does that mean about the number of boys compared to the number of girls?
4 boys.
2 boys.
2 boys to 1 girl, right? So the number of boys is 2 times the number of girls, right? 1 is doubled to get to 2. So 2 to 1 is 2 times the 1, right? So let's just look at our class right now. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Am I not a girl? I'm going to be a girl?
Yeah, you are. But you're a teacher. That's it.
But she's still.
I'm a girl.
If it's
Okay, 12 girls. How many boys?
what if they're the same?
4 boys. If they're the, Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm a girl. I am a girl.
Oh, I know.
Okay. So our ratio of girls to boys right now is what?
12 to 4.
Okay, that is true. But here's what you do. If it's a 12 to 4 ratio, you always want to simplify your ratio. So it's actually a 3 to 1 ratio, which means there's 3 times as many girls as there are boys. You boys are outnumbered. If we switched it, I'll get there. If we switched it, the ratio of boys to girls, it would be a 1 to 3 ratio. Okay? Olivia asked a great question. What if the numbers are the same? What if it's 6 girls and 6 boys? It's a 1 to 1 ratio. That means there are equal number of your things that you're talking about. Okay? It would be, yeah, you would say 1 to 1. if it was the same number. Okay? Okay.
Just write one.
No, you got to write 1, 2, 1 because it's comparing the two numbers, right? You want to compare both. Okay, a rate. A rate is a ratio, so it's going to be something over something, something compared to something. Katie, will you put your iPad away for me, please? It's a ratio comparing quantities with different what? Do you know? Can you think of what a rate would be? Like your speed is a rate. What's your speed usually in?
Height. Distance.
Like rate, like.
What is speed measured in?
Like when you rate someone on your like.
If your parents are driving on the freeway, they're going 65 miles per hour, right? So miles and hours, those are different units, is what you're dealing with. Okay? So examples, that would be like miles per hour. A lot of times in this class, you'll see feet per second. Or maybe you'll see dollars per ounce. Do you know where you might see dollars per ounce?
Like when you're buying something else.
At the grocery store, right? Often things are in ounces. It's a 16 ounce, not can, not jar, sour cream, container of sour cream. That would be dollars per ounce if we broke it down, okay? And that leads us to unit rate. This is something that you guys will use for the rest of your life. Unit rate shows up all over the place. In fact, when you go shopping now, a lot of places give you the unit rate, which is beautiful, because it helps you to compare the prices on different things, okay? A unit rate is this. It's a rate with a denominator. Remember, denominator is the bottom number of 1. So it's something over 1 is a unit rate, okay? So what we're doing with that is we're trying to figure out what's the best price of something. Well, the thing with the smallest unit rate is the cheapest price. So here's where I'm going to show you. Example 2 here. It says you're shopping for t-shirts. Which store offers the best deal? So if it's $25 for 2 shirts, $45 for 4 shirts, or $30 for 3 shirts, which one is the best unit rate? Now what you do is you divide. It's a rate, okay? Something divided by something. So what you're going to do is, for this first one, you're going to do 25 divided by 2. For the second one, you're going to do 45 divided by 4. And for the third one, you're going to do 30 divided by 3. Okay, so this is store A, this is store B, this is store C. That is a job for your calculator. So you get your calculator out, you plug in 25 divided by 2, and you get what?
1 or 12.
Okay, now here's the thing. What were we talking about? 25 what?
Like
Dollars, okay? So if we're saying $25 divided by 2, what are we talking about when we get 12.5?
How much one shirt?
One shirt, right? $25 divided by 2 is $12.50 per one shirt.
To see like if it's a fair bet.
Yeah, so what we're saying is it was 25 divided by 2. That means it's $12.50 per shirt at store A, right? Even though you got 12.5, we're talking money. So turn it into money, $12.50, okay? Second store, 45 divided by 4. What do you get? $11.25. So that means that is $11.25 per shirt. You don't have to write the word per, by the way. You can do that slash, and that means per. And then the last one, 30 divided by 3,
$10.
is $10 per shirt. Okay, so if we're looking for the best deal, what store do you want to shop at?
C.
Store C. You want the
What
one...
about the quality?
I didn't say we're not looking for quality. We're looking for the best deal. Okay. So store C would offer the best deal. All right. Keeping in mind that a unit rate is something divided by 1, something over 1. So that's why when we divide this, that gives us 1250 over 1, 1125 over 1, 10 over 1, right? That is your unit rate. It's per one shirt. Okay? Questions on that? Okay. Conversion factors. This is the one that often gets a little sticky for some. So I really need you to check in right now. If you've checked out today, check back in. Conversion factors always equal 1. What happens when you multiply something by 1?
Equals whatever number you
It equals the same thing, okay? So if I multiply something by 1, it's not going to change the value. It might change the way it looks, but the value of it is still the same, okay? So with conversion factors, we're going to use things that equal 1, but they'll have different units. So for instance, a conversion factor might be 12 inches to 1 foot, okay? 12 and 1 are not the same, but 12 inches and 1 foot are the same thing,
Oh, that makes sense.
okay? Or you might do 1 yard to 3 feet, okay? 1 over 3 is not the number 1, right? That's 1/3. But this is not 1/3 because we're dealing with yards on top and feet on bottom. So this is equal to 1 because 1 yard is the same thing as 3 feet. Does that make sense? Okay? So this is how we're going to get from miles per hour to feet per second. We're going to convert it using all these conversion factors. Let me give you one more. Yes, you're like reading my mind right now. You really are. You're like a step ahead of me every time. 4 quarts is what?
1 gallon.
1 gallon. Did you like watch my lesson already or something? You're just on it. 4 quarts is 1 gallon, okay? 4 over 1 does not equal 1, but 4 quarts over 1 gallon equals 1 because they are the same thing,
Oh, so
okay?
it depends on the unit.
The units are what make it. You need units that are the same value, okay? Yes, Mania.
For ¿cómo se
Quarts. So a quart is like a gallon of milk, right? Think of a gallon of milk. I could take a quart, which is a smaller size, and put 4 of those into a gallon, and they will be equal. So a quart is smaller than a gallon, right? By 4 times. Okay? Okay, so this next thing that we're gonna do is using conversion factors to change things from one to another. Oh, you know what? I have a really big space there. I don't need it. We're going here. So example 3. It says, what is the given amount converted, changed to the given units? So we're starting with 330 minutes, and we want to turn that into some number of hours. Okay, so I want to know how 330 minutes plays into some number of hours. Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take the number 330 minutes. Okay, if it helps you to see it, you're welcome to put that over 1 right now because everything is going to be a ratio. You don't have to put it over 1, but you may put it over 1. Okay? If we're trying to go from minutes to hours, we're going to multiply by 1 because we don't want to change what 330 minutes equals. We just want to see it in hours instead. Okay? So if I need to multiply by 1 and we're dealing with minutes and hours, do you know how minutes and hours relate to each other?
60 minutes.
60 minutes is
1 hour.
1 hour. Okay, so if 60 minutes, this stuff is so fun. I love this stuff. Oh, so fun. Okay, 60 minutes is 1 hour. Here's what you have to do. We're trying to get rid of our minutes. And when we try to get rid of things in math, for instance, minutes is on a numerator right now. If I divide by minutes, minutes divided by minutes, or 10 divided by 10 is 1, right? It goes away. So you're gonna put your minutes on the bottom so that they'll cancel out. Does that make sense? We wanna do minutes divided by minutes. That means your hours are gonna go on top, and then you can put your numbers in for them. So 60 minutes is 1 hour, and we're multiplying, okay? So this is basically saying 330 times 1. So my 330 is not changing in value. The number is gonna be different, but the value of it is the same, okay? So when we do that, we just said our minutes canceled out. So our units are gonna be hours. What do I do to multiply here? Just straight across and straight across, right? On top, my new number is gonna be 330 because I do 330 times 1. On bottom, I'm gonna do 1 times 60. 1 times 60 is 60. So that's my new rate, but we want a unit rate, which means we want our denominator to be 1. How do I do that? You divide. You're gonna plug in 330, divided by 60, and you get 5.5. Okay? Whatever your units were that were left, that's your units for your answer. So your answer is 5.5 hours is the same as 330 minutes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We just multiplied by 1, right? But our numbers changed because we were multiplying using different units. Okay, kilograms to grams. And if you look at on the back side, the bottom of the second page, I gave you some of the like conversions here. Meters and grams, kilometers, kilograms. The kilo thing is always 1,000, right? So if you're not sure, there's a bunch here, but Google is your best friend when it comes to conversions. If you don't know how a centimeter converts to a meter, ask Google for now, okay? I try to stick with the very basic ones on quizzes and tests. I won't give you anything that you're like, I've never seen this before. I'll give you the ones we do all the time in class, okay? Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How the people in like before Google is existing, like Google is a start. How found it? How many like 236?
They probably went to like an encyclopedia, a book full of information.
Who made this book?
Encyclopedias? Lots of people have written encyclopedias. There's lots of different encyclopedias.
What if you can't find what you're looking for?
You ask around.
Oh.
Somebody knows. Okay, here's what we're doing. Kilograms to grams, okay? Sorry, we're gonna have to work off to the side here a little bit. So 15 kilograms is what you start with. So you just rewrite it, 15 kilograms. If you wanna put it over 1, go ahead and put it over 1. But we're gonna multiply by something that equals 1, and we're doing kilograms and grams. Remember what I just said about kilo? What number is kilo? 1,000, okay? So your conversion that you're gonna use is 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, okay? So if 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams and we wanna turn it into grams, that means we wanna cancel out kilograms. So where are our kilograms gonna go on this next ratio? On the bottom, right? If you put it on the bottom, it will cancel out the one that is on the top, okay? That means if kilograms is on bottom, then grams is on top. What number is gonna go on top?
1,000.
1,000, right? Your grams is 1,000, your kilograms is 1. So you have this setup, multiply that for me. What do you get? What's on top? So the kilograms are gone, multiply the numbers. 15,000 what?
50,000
Grams over 1. What's 15,000 over 1?
50,000.
15,000. So your answer is 15,000 grams. Okay, so when they ask you what is 15 kilograms in grams, your answer, 15,000 grams. Okay, you're just multiplying by 1. Questions on that? Okay, last one of these. And then we got one more thing to do. This one's a little bit fancy, okay? We have feet and inches that we're trying to convert to inches, okay? So we're gonna save the inches part of it until later because that's already in inches, but 5 feet is not in inches. So we're gonna take 5 feet. You may put it over 1 if you want to see that it's on top. And we're gonna convert feet to inches. Can anyone tell me the conversion for feet and inches? 12 what?
12 inches.
12 inches is what?
Wait, what did it be? 12 times 5?
1 foot is 12 inches, right? Okay, so to cancel out our feet, is it gonna go on top or bottom? On bottom, which means inches on top. And we just said 12 inches is 1 foot. That means our feet just reduced to 1, essentially. Now you're just gonna multiply across. So 5 times 12 is 60. 1 times 1 is 1. You don't have to put the 1 in for me. You can just say 60 inches. Okay, but here's the thing. The question was 5 feet 3 inches is how many inches?
63.
63. Because you found 60 for 5 feet, right? You need to do 60 plus those 3 extra inches. So 63 inches is the same as 5 feet 3 inches. Does that make sense? Do you love these as much as I do? Oh, I love them. Okay, last one. This one says the CN Tower in Toronto, Canada is about 1,815 feet tall. About how many meters tall is the tower? And they give you the conversion factor. 1 meter is about 3.28 feet, okay? And the fact that it's about, that means we're rounding here, okay? That's okay. So you start with the number they give you, 1,815 feet. And we're converting it into what? Into meters. M is meters. Miles will be MI. So they gave you the conversion. Where are our feet going to go? On the bottom. We want to cancel them out. So feet down here. Meters go on top then. That means our feet are gone, but we got to put in our numbers. So where's the 1 going? 1's going on top. 3.28 is going on bottom. Okay. And then you multiply across. So you end up with 1,815 on top. You end up with 3.28 on bottom, right? We're multiplying this and we're multiplying this. What do you do from there?
You multiply.
Divide, right? So 1815 divided by 3.28 gives you 553.3536. It keeps going, okay? It says about how many meters tall. So we're gonna round to the nearest meter. So if I round this number to the nearest meter, what would that be? 553, right? Meters would be where the 3 is at. This 3 does not bump that 3 up, right? If it's a 5 or higher, you would bump it up. That doesn't bump it up. So we would say it's about, remember the wiggly lines, that means approximately or about, 553 meters tall. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, so here are your conversion factors. Playing on your phone over there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go put it over there. So if you need a little extra help on any of them, here are some of them. That's in the back of your book. If you prefer to look at it in the back of your book too, that's fine. I think it's page 1936. So if you need to see them in your book, they are there. That's what I have for you today. Questions?